Hello and welcome back. We're halfway through the ultimate day of API Days Paris, which means it's halfway through the last day of API Days for 2021. I think we're all looking forward to 2022, which comes down to business, business, business. So the business side of APIs. Yes, we're talking about API integrations, and there's a technical side, but we know a predominant theme throughout this is about finding the business side and combining those two together, the business value and APIs, because I think API monetization was something people were struggling to unlock maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, but we've unlocked it now, haven't we? So please, Mathieu, come to the stage.
Hi, everyone. Hi,
How are
Jennifer.
you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay. Can you share your screen, please? And how long have you been in the API community?
Oh, it's more than 4 or 5 years, I think, joining the Apidays, backed, at Paris when we can, but now it's virtual. But we have great hope for 2022.
And that's okay because while we're here virtually, we get to bond with more people network. So everybody, don't forget, we have a networking portion in the app. I'll let you
Mm,
take it away.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. So, hi everyone, and we'll talk about scaling up your business with API integration. So, as Jennifer said, we're both talking about these business parts and also um, the technical part. We will talk about integration. So, I'm Mathieu. I'm the CEO of Meta API, and I'm a tech guy, coming from tech guy, and now um, part with the business part, and we launched Meta API back in July 2019. So that's a young startup right now, but we have a lot to show to the API community. So few subject we'll go through this presentation. So start why do you need external services and of course API for your business. We will see common use case and the challenge of API integration, both on a business part and also on a technical part. And at last, we'll show how we can keep up with the integration and manage ability and your agility with all the time. And at last, I will quickly show you what we are doing at Meta API and why we are solving some of this problem. So first, why do you need for your business external services? Three key points on this one. The first one is to simplify all your business processes and workflow for improving your team efficiency. Some external services or like SaaS platform are very great on user experience and efficiency. So all your user and all your employee can rely on a well-done interface to make that job. So we will also, the second point is to save time on repetitive tasks. For example, when you move from a file shared by, for example, email to a cloud storage, a collaboration platform, which enable you to share very easily and very quickly files with anyone. So that will save you a ton of time. And the last one is taking all your data from all your uh, tools and platform you are using and aggregate them together to get very to take very deep full decision and have all your metrics you want and see all your aspect of your business. On the tech side, that will help you to plug to external services that will speed up your time to market, especially when we are evolving in a very competitive market. Speed can be a game changer. So that's a key point, and you can have you can free your dev team to keep on very complex and very core feature from your business, and then you know get all the eternal services you need from external platform, which for a majority of this platform is just paying the a monthly fee. So uh, that's a great way to lower your tech need inside. Um, some cons, you will engage your responsibility on these services because you will be um, betting on these services for some of your business parts. So if anything, if for example a service is down, that will impact your business, and at scale that could be very costly, because many services are your pay on demand plan. You start very cheap and then at high volume, that could be very, very costly. So um, it's important to be careful if your usage and your cost is not directly indexed to your business usage, but that could be very costly. So be careful of that. Some common use cases, for example, for payment, everybody knows Stripe. We have Mailjet and Mailchimp for transactional email, Google Drive and Dropbox, Twilio and Vonage for communication. All these services have in common that they rely on very complex and very costly infrastructure. And as a business, you can't just be plugged to a communication operator or directly to the bank. So that helps you to make all this connection easily. And also some services are only accessible through what we call business service provider. For example, if you want to use WhatsApp for business, you need to go buy this kind of services, for example Vonage, and you can go directly and reach WhatsApp to make a deal with them. So that's important, and that's why we also need to go through these kind of services. So the challenge of API integration, because we move from the services to the API, and why API is so important. First, when you want to reach and implement an external services, you have to look for the best candidates. So of course, the first point is to find a service provider that fulfill all your requirements and what you need to implement. But the next step is very important, is to check if this service have an API to cover all the feature, because that will be a game changer next, when you have to scale up, and we will be you will have the will to automate many operation. So that's the way to do it. And of course, each great API come with a great documentation. So that you can have a nice hint of the quality of services when you see the documentation. Is if you have a very well written and accessible documentation, that's in most cases a good sign. And a bonus is to have a dedicated library or software development kit for your tech team. That would be amazing. So that's my two advice, is to first check all the feature, and of course an API must be available, and then look at the API documentation and seek for all the endpoints and all this, if all the services are well exposed inside this documentation. That could be a nice overview of if everything is available. Um, about this integration, in the tech parts, I have three warning on 3 points that you must uh, be aware of. The first one is the rate limiting. Be careful, many services have rate limits on how IP calls you can do on a service. So be careful because sometimes is this limit is rely on a specific plan or something like that. So you have to be very careful. And some services have a limit you can't exceed, and you have no possibility to exceed it. So be careful if you think you will come over this usage. Be careful of that could um, block or create a wall for your business scale. The second one is the authentication, especially OAuth 2, which is the golden standard for authentication, but can consume in your tech teams a lot of time and can bring a lot of complexity. So be aware of, be careful of this point. And the last one is when you have to do what we call excessive pagination, because when you call an API, you don't have all the results at once. Maybe sometimes you have to do like 3, 4, 5 requests to get out your data you need. And this last point is directly connected to the first one, to the rate limiting. So be careful; they are not, blocking each other. So sometimes you have when the API and the tech team is is great. You have an SDK which help developers with these two parts, like pagination and rate limiting, and it's automatically implementing inside their software development kit. But sometimes when you have to do the integration yourself, you have to take care of all these all these key points. And integration is not a one-time job. It's not just a setup. It's you have to maintain it with time. And some external and internal factor will affect your integration. um, some external factors are, for example, new features and deprecated endpoint and deprecated services from their API. And that happens mostly when, for example, an API go from V1 version 1 to version 2. There are many changes and what we call breaking change. So uh, be careful of that. And most of the time, actors let like 1 to 3 months and contact the customer to say, hey, we are updating our API. So you have a migration and change to do. And price can change. My best example is what happened with Google Maps in 2018 when they moved from free API and free maps you can generate it at any time, and then they moved to a very pricey API request. So be careful of that and be careful and be prepared if you need to change, for example, a provider. Be sure you have like another provider available right behind your hands. And the last one is technical adjustment. For example, it's like some micro change that can happen on on API, but that will be affect directly your product. For example, I have seen API changing the way they are sorting result, sometimes alphabetical and sometimes with, for example, ID or creation date. So that kind of change are not documented at every time. So that can be tricky to detect it. And of course, there will be also internal factor that will affect the integration you have done with API. For example, and it's what I see every day, it's your business process moving and changing. For example, um, going to one simple process to a more complex one because your API, your business is growing. So it's great for you, but it can change the way you integrate your application. And the next one is, for example, you are moving on. Yes, there are some features you want to dump, and then you need different tools. So you will need to integrate another API to get a new feature. So my advice on this side is always to put your integration into what we call an abstraction layer. It can happen inside your application or it can be external, but be careful of what you are doing with this API and try to isolate it the most you can. You know, you 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 can extract all the authentication, configuration, and all data exchange which are really specific to a technical implementation, and keep all your business logic, all your main processes outside this integration. So when you have to update or change the services, that will be so much easier to do. And that's the 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 thing we are doing at Meta API. We are specialized in integration and automation and automate API between them. So we take all the work process we see as a developer and which are done uh, manually, made integration, and we we take all the feature to cover all the process from development and release and going to production, monitoring everything we have done, and then allow what I present to you, a continuous improvement. So having this ability to add new feature, change API, update your business logic, um, plug new API, unplug some other, evolve, etc. So that's what we are doing, and I will quickly show you what we done and how it's done in in our platform. So okay, so that's an example of what we are doing, and this integration layer and the integration parts in our product are called a spell. And it's an editor, a live editor, which is composed from connectors right here on the left, and on the right and a code editor. So you can do whatever you want with data, and also go through very complex algorithm. And for example, for this demo, I have plugged Stripe, so to get all my invoices, and I plug it to Google spreadsheet based on specific filter and a specific data formatting that I want in my Google spreadsheet. And all of these connectors are based in open API standard. So we can plug anything we want, and we simplify all the configuration, authentication, and you just have to get your data very easily and then transform it like you want, and then push it to other tools, to your own platform, on API, etc. So I will just run it. Yeah, I will show you in real time. Here we go. So we'll see all the field as automatically feed it inside my Google spreadsheet, and everything is controlled through the interface. So if I need, for example, to change the limit we want of invoice we want to retrieve, we just have to change the parameter, run it again, and everything will be overwritten with the new data. Here we go. So that's what we are doing, and we want to simplify all the integration, and then publish it as an API. So we are doing all the abstraction layer you need to do on your own application right here. Go back to my slide. Okay, that's it. So I think I'm on time, so
Going
I'm
on.
ready to answer your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess the most obvious question would be, how horrible has your last month of spam been because of your unfortunate name with a certain other name? But
Yes.
I mean, that
So
just seems to make sense.
we were created way before
I know.
the Mark Zuckerberg company. So
That
we are not
company,
affected.
yeah. There's quite a few. Meta, I mean, That's So Meta was so a trendy name like 2 years ago, so maybe it should have been done then. And a question from the audience: how is Meta API different to Zapier or better than Zapier? And I guess you could also extend that to if this, then that.
Yes, Zapier is very good with small processes, or to just make a proof of concept. But when you
Mhm.
have to scale, and also when you have to custom your business process, you will see all the limitation of platform like Zapier or Integromat, because they are based on no code way to design your process with block, with drag and drops, and at one time you need to customize all your processes, and that we'll see now when you see the limit. And of course they are all limited by their own catalog, so they don't provide any access to any API. And what we are doing is, you inside Meta API you can plug both public APIs and also your own private API. So that's
Mm.
the way API should be connected and should be open.
Absolutely. That makes sense that those other tools, we'll call them, are more for low code audience, which is totally fine. Low code is the future. No code is the
Of
future. We
course,
need
of
more
course.
people to access the internet, but we also need tools with developers in mind that leads to more customization and processes that
I
treat
totally
the
agree.
consumer and the end user well.
It
Awesome. Thank you so much. And
Thank
I hope
you.
you have a great